If you've ever walked away from a real estate deal, buying, selling, renting, or just dealing with your home and thought, I should have pushed harder on that, this video is going to hit close to home. Here's something a lot of people in real estate aren't going to volunteer to tell you. Almost everything is negotiable. The price, the timeline, the terms, the repairs, the fees, the lease, the insurance settlement, almost all of it. And the reason most people don't know that, the reason most people walk away leaving something on the table, isn't because they weren't smart enough. It's because nobody sat them down and told them how this actually works. Well, that's what we're going to do today. Now, before we get into it, this video has chapters. So whether you're a buyer, a seller, a renter, or a homeowner dealing with something specific right now, go ahead and jump to that section. I've got you covered. But here's what I'm actually going to ask of you today. Stay for all of it. Because the home buyer today becomes the home seller in a few years. The renter becomes the homeowner. And one of the most underrated advantages you can have in any real estate situation is understanding what the person on the other side of the table is thinking. So even if only one section applies to your life right now, the others are going to tell you something useful. I promise it's worth the watch. Now, let's talk about negotiation. I want you to think about the last time you were in a real estate situation, and I want you to ask yourself honestly, did you feel like you got everything you could have gotten? Or is there a quiet voice in the back of your head still saying, I think I left something on the table? If that voice is there, you're not alone. Most people feel it. Because negotiation in real estate isn't one moment. It's not the offer, the counter, or the handshake. It runs through the entire process, from the very first conversation to the very last signature. And it shows up in places most people never think to look. Today, we're going through all four groups: buyers, sellers, renters, and homeowners. And we're talking about what negotiation actually looks like for each one. Not the theory, the real version, the one with some discomfort in it. So let's get into it. Home buyers. Let's start here because this is where I see the most regret. When you're getting ready to make an offer, where does all your energy go? The price, right? What should we offer? Is it too low or too high? Are we going to lose it? And I get it. But let me ask you something. Have you ever gotten the house, you won it, and then felt completely powerless during the inspection because you felt like the deal was already locked in? Or wondered if you could have asked the seller to cover some of your closing costs and you just didn't because you weren't sure if that was even allowed? Here's what I want you to understand. The offer price is one lever, just one. Contingencies are negotiating tools, not just a protection. How you structure them, how long the windows are, which ones you include or waive, all of it signals to the seller how serious and clean your offer is. A shorter inspection window says, I'm ready, I'm confident, I'm not here to drag this out. In a competitive situation, that could matter more than a few extra $1,000. The closing timeline is widely underused. Sellers have logistics too. If you can match what they actually need, whether it's a fast close or a delayed one, that flexibility has real value. It doesn't show up as a number on the offer, but it can absolutely be the thing that tips them towards you. Seller concessions, closing cost coverage, a repair credit, a rate buy down that lowers your payment in year 1 or 2. These are real, they're available in today's market, and most buyers never ask. Not because they didn't want to, because nobody told them that it was an option. Now you know. The question is, who's helping you think through all of this before you write your next offer? Home sellers. Sellers, you've done the work. The home is prepped, it's listed, the offers are coming in. And the first thing you do, and everyone does this, is you go straight to the number. Have you ever accepted the highest offer and then watched the deal fall apart 3 weeks later? Inspection issues, financing problems, a buyer who had just enough contingency language to walk away clean, and suddenly you're back on the market, days on the market climbing, wondering if you should have looked more carefully at who was actually making that offer? That's what's happening when you react to a number instead of reading a document or having someone explain it to you. An offer tells you a story. The price is the headline, but the details, that's where the story actually lives. How is the buyer financing? What's the deposit? Because a low earnest money deposit is information. It's telling you something about how committed this person really is. How long are their contingency windows? A 15-day inspection period means 2 weeks where the buyer holds most of the leverage. A clean offer with a shorter window and a serious deposit might be worth more than the highest number on the page. And then there's the counter offer. This is where most sellers lose the most ground, not by asking for too much, but by not knowing how to ask at all. The best counters don't blow up the deal. They refine it. They say, I want to get this done, and here's what I need. Specific, calm, directional. That's negotiation. It's a skill, and it's one most sellers never develop because they only do this a handful of times in their lives. Last thing, Know your floor before any offers arrive. What's the minimum net that makes this work? What terms are not negotiable for you? If you're figuring that out while an offer is sitting in your inbox and a buyer is waiting, you're making decisions under pressure. That's where mistakes happen. Real quick, if this is landing for you, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I put out content like this every single week. Real talk about real estate, no fluff, no filler. It genuinely helps to know this stuff is reaching people who need it. Okay, let's keep going. Renters. This group gets told the least and deserves to hear it the most. There's this idea that renters don't negotiate. The lease arrives, you check the number, you sign it, and that's it. The terms are the terms. Has your lease ever come up for renewal and you just signed it? Maybe the rent went up a little and you didn't love it, but you figured that's just how it goes. You didn't ask any questions. You didn't look up what comparable units were renting for. How do you know you couldn't have negotiated that number? Here's what most tenants never think about. Your landlord doesn't want to find a new tenant. Turnover is expensive. Vacancy days, listing fees, repairs, screening. That can easily cost a landlord 1 to 2 months of rent before someone new ever moves in. You, reliable, on time, no drama, are worth something real to them. That's not a feeling, that's math. Use it. Maintenance. Have you ever seen a frustrated text about something not getting fixed and then just waited? Ask yourself honestly, how are you communicating those requests? A documented, professional written follow-up gets a different response than a frustrated voice message. Be the tenant who's clearly keeping a record. Organized tenants get faster responses. And if you ever needed to leave a lease early and assume you were stuck, you may not have been. Landlords are often more open to early termination than tenants expect, especially when the tenant makes it easy on them. Most people never ask because they assume the answer is no, and sometimes it isn't. Homeowners. Let's talk to homeowners now. You thought the negotiating was over the day you got the keys. It wasn't. Has this ever happened to you? A contractor comes out, looks at the job, gives you a number, and you think, that seems high, but you're not sure if pushing back is normal. You don't want to seem difficult. You don't know enough about the work to ask smart questions, so you just pay it. Most homeowners do, and most contractors know that. Get 3 bids, always, and let each contractor know you're getting them. That one shift changes the entire dynamic. Their first number stops being their final one. Ask for an itemized breakdown on every bid. Materials, labor, timeline. Compare line by line, not just total. That's how you find the bid that isn't just the cheapest, it's the most honest. HOA disputes. Have you ever paid a fine because you didn't know you could challenge it? Most HOAs have a formal dispute process. Find your CC&Rs, read them. If something feels unfair, request a formal process in writing. Document everything and show up prepared. Boards respond very differently to organized pushback than they do to a frustrated phone call. And insurance settlements. When an adjuster gives you a number after a claim, that is not the final answer. That is the opening offer. Get the itemized breakdown. Get independent contractor estimates. If there's a gap between what they're offering and what repairs actually cost, push back. Request a reinspection. Bring in a public adjuster. Escalate if you need to. You've been paying premiums for exactly this moment. Here's the takeaway. Negotiation doesn't announce itself. It shows up in a lease renewal you almost signed without reading, a counter you almost accepted without pushing back, a contractor's bid you almost paid in full, an insurance check you almost just cashed. The people who get the best outcomes in real estate aren't the most aggressive. They're the most prepared. They know what they want before the conversation starts, and they've stopped treating these moments as things that happen to them and started treating them as conversations they can shape. That's the shift, and it's available to all of you. If you're thinking about buying or selling, reach out before you're already in the middle of it. The link is in the bio. These strategies work best when you've thought them through in advance with someone in your corner. And if this video helped you, share it with someone navigating a housing decision right now. They'll thank you for it. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. New content every week, and it's always worth the watch.